explain why, because I started doing it at a very early age. I just seemed to save things if I thought they were historical. I used to collect stamps when I was 9 years old, so probably that started me thinking about keeping things that are old. 56 World Series between the Yankees and the Dodgers at Yankee Stadium. What makes this particular ticket kind of interesting is that it was the only perfect game pitched in the history of the World Series, and it was my father's ticket. Somebody just checked online, and I showed it to them, and this particular ticket is worth about $2,500. But I'm not interested in selling because then I won't have it. So it's one of, and I guess I got it from my mom after my dad died. And the ticket price is $10.50. Pond is one of the probably top 5 significant baseball events in the history of baseball. In the history of the World Series, which has taken place for over 100 years, it's probably the most significant game ever. November 22nd, I was in school. I was in 8th grade, and I was in woodworking class, and I heard from the teacher that Kennedy was shot. It was a very simple cover, and just like Time magazine today, back then they bordered it with black. So I also had there was a Life magazine was probably the equivalent to like Time magazine, but more pictorial. Harvey Oswald was the alleged assassin, and as he was being escorted from one location to another, he was murdered on live TV. That anybody watching TV at the time witnessed it, which I was watching that with my father, and not too sure who else was in the room at the time when that took place, but I actually saw that on TV. I was managing a real estate office, and when the time came, I forget exactly when it was in the afternoon, but we knew the verdict was coming in because the jury had come to a decision, so that we circled around my administrator's desk. There was around 10 of us when they made the announcement. So people were listening to the radio, they went to TV sets because it was very big news, and then the reason why it was such big news is because the populace felt he was guilty, but the jury acquitted him. It's not every day in your lifetime that a president is impeached. So, and if you read this, you will find out that type of information. 1100. Especially being that probably someplace in here it is, right here, computers prevail in first hours. That was a big worry, Y2K. So the significance is that all across the world, very rarely do you get to experience that. News, the one recurring image was the towers coming down. They just played that continuous every channel because you reach a saturation point in the media where it's challenging to bring a new spin or perspective on a tragic event. You can always get reprints, but the reprints lack the inserts in the other news of the day. It tends to be a few pages, so having, in my opinion, retaining the newspaper intact, at some point you can look back to see what was taking place at that time. It was a historical event that will always have its significance for what took place, meaning very first black president. I was driving through Bergen County, and I knew that he was going to make an appearance at the Izod Center, and this was when he was seeking the nomination from the Democratic Party, so the primaries were still in play. And at that particular event, Ted Kennedy as well as Caroline Kennedy were going to be keynote speakers on his behalf. So I thought, spur of the moment, I'm going to go. And that's what I did.